What's up, guys? This is Storm, and welcome to episode 51 of Storm Gaming News. I hope you are having an amazing week. We got a lot of news to cover, so without further ado, let's get on with the news. The first news I have is a very terrible one. Apparently, PlayStation is closing down Bluepoint games by the start of next month, and they had purchased them 5 years ago. This rocked the whole entire PlayStation community when this news came out. This news comes from Bloomberg, from Jason Schreier, who is a very well-informed person who knows what goes on in the gaming industry. So he got a lot of credibility behind what he says. So, you don't know who Bluepoint Games are. They are the studio that are masters when it comes to remake and remastering games. They have remastered the Uncharted collection, and not like for the launch of the PS5, they remade Demon Souls, which was really amazing. I believe the last numbers we had as of 2013 sold 1.8 million, which some people say is a very low number, but it's a Souls game, so it is what it is. But either way, people are very heartbroken and stuff because like Bluepoint is a very beloved studio, and the fact Sony is shutting them down is kind of crazy. And apparently the reason for it, there was like a letter going around by Herman Hulse was saying that due to the difficulty that's going on in the gaming industry, they had no choice but to shut down Bluepoint Games, where the reasons are they haven't put out anything since Demon Souls remake. But not too long ago we heard like they were trying to do like some games as a service God of War game, but Sony canceled that, so that made them have no thing in the pipeline and stuff, which is kind of crazy. But I heard like a conflicting story with that. I heard that Bluepoint actually came to Sony with that idea and stuff. Regardless, the whole push for the games as a service that Sony did is done irreparable damage to their first party studios. And like, it's so stupid because PlayStation was never like this. They were never about chasing trends. They always go for what worked for them. So this whole thing about games as a service really messed up this whole PS5 generation. If the push for the PS5 generation wasn't so pushed by games as a service, we probably wouldn't be having this situation right now. And I truly blame on Jim Ryan when he was around, and even people right now are calling for Herman Hulse's job, because he hasn't done anything since he became leader of PlayStation first party studios. And it truly sucks that it is that this is happening to Bluepoint Games and stuff. Is like, it's really disheartening and stuff, and kind of feels like it is true because PlayStation and them have not put out no statement to say this is not true. So my only hope is that the developers is being put into other studios and stuff, so they'll still have a job. But it's just unfortunate that Bluepoint Games is being shut down due to PlayStation mismanagement. I have a feeling they probably gonna do something exactly what they did to Japan Studios. Is when that studio closed down, they moved the people over to a brand new studio, which is now Team Asobi, which is which is PlayStation Japan studio, but their now new name is Team Asobi and stuff. So I could probably see them doing that for Bluepoint Like, I believe it was only like 70 to 100 people working at Bluepoint Studios and stuff. And of course, like, people are trying to make this into a whole console war thing, saying that Microsoft should buy out the studio. So there's no need for that. Like, let's just take it what it is. Like, PlayStation is under the fire for this because this whole push for games as a service, and it, now it's kind of worrying what's gonna happen to the other studios if they fail to follow something, because it's kind of crazy that Bluepoint get closed down, but Media Molecule and Ben Studios is still around, and they haven't. Media Molecule has not put out anything since like what 2018, 2019, 2020, one of those years where they dropped Dream. And Ben Studio had not put out anything since 2019 with Days Gone. But freaking Bluepoint Games gets shut down. Man, it's fucking bullshit. But I digress. I'm really hoping for the future and so when it comes to gaming, because it's not just PlayStation, it's happening everywhere. But like this one truly hurt gamers and stuff because Bluepoint was so beloved and stuff. And of course, there's some people. It goes on both sides. Like, some people say like they're not surprised that Bluepoint shut it down. Some people are disappointed. Somebody like put out a catalog how much Bluepoint games have sold, and I believe it was like 8 or 9 games they put out and stuff, and all of them. The game sales altogether made 7.6 million. And some people said, bro, that's not enough, because like look at freaking Horizon Zero Dawn. One game alone outdid all that. Ghost of Tsushima, one game did all those games that Bluepoint game. And I'm not saying Bluepoint Studio is a bad game and stuff. I'm just going off of what people are saying about Bluepoint. So, my hope is the devs make a comeback. Sony probably gonna put them into different studios to work and stuff, and probably use the money what they was putting into them and put them into other stuff. Like, I'm just hoping going forward, no more is freaking game as a service. If you want games as a service, just do like a partnership with other studios that has knowledge on games as a service and multiplayer. I'm not talking about Bungie. Like, they got their own shit they have to focus on. I'm talking about focus solely on your single player, because that's basically your moneymaker. Like, people alone went crazy when God of War Remake was announced. People are excited for when Naughty Dog dropped the Intergalactic, the Heretic Prophet. Like, I don't know why PlayStation does this thing when it comes to chasing trends to make it more money. Like, shoot, a couple weeks ago, I reported that for the fiscal year, Ghost of Yote, which is a single player game, boosts their portfolio. A single player game boosts their portfolio. So it's clear to see, like, single players are their biggest money makers still. Like, and Ghost of Yote dropping the multiplayer stuff, which is also nice. They got 4 Loop, which is a partnership with Bad Robot and stuff. Like, and I don't know if Marathon's gonna do well. Like, it wouldn't be a W for PlayStation if Marathon does well, because if they didn't work on that partnership, the game was gonna come to PlayStation regardless and stuff. So, but that's all I have to say on the Bluepoint stuff. It is very disappointing about it. I didn't want to wake up on a Thursday morning to see that and stuff. After the whole state of play in their physical year, I thought PlayStation was in a good spot, but unfortunately, they're not. the whole 2020 COVID thing really fucked up the whole gaming industry. It, but here's hoping for the future. Once again, Elder Scrolls 6 had made into the news. In an interview with Tom Howard had with Greg Miller from Kinda Funny, he openly admitted Elder Scrolls 6 was announced way too early. In the statement that he said, I mean, everybody knows why we announced it that way. It's not my preference. It's going to be a while. Yet, feel bad because everyone wants information. Elder Scrolls 6 was announced like what, in 2018, 2019? No, I think it was announced way longer than that. Give me a quick second. Elder Scrolls 6, when was that announced? It was announced in 2018. Alright, I was right. So it was announced in 2018. We're pretty much coming close to a decade. Yeah, it's been like 8 years now. And we have no type of information for Elder Scrolls 6 whatsoever. And it's kind of crazy that Starfield came out before it, to be honest, but I digress. I think this is like an overall problem with some game developers announcing a game like way too early before they're ready to show anything. Like this is like with Marvel Wolverine, the EA game with Iron Man. What else we have? There's a couple of games I can't really remember. I think I could throw in the God of War remake trilogy right there. But they did say it was in active development and stuff. So I can't really put too much fault into that. But we seen this happen before. We complain and stuff like why you're announcing a game like way too early before you're ready to show anything and stuff. Especially in this day and age, game development takes way too long than it needs to. Like it is what it is. It sucks that it happened this way, but what can you do? Like when the game comes out, we all will get the excitement about it and stuff. Like my current hype for Marvel Wolverine, I'm waiting for when the spring season come around. That's where Insomniac gonna show us more about it. My only question for the Marvel Wolverine is how the healing factor is going to work. What I mean by that is like, is it like I heard some theories going around. People would say like when you don't have your claws out, like you. It was weird. I don't know how that works. Some people say like your heal factor is tied when you're in combat. When you're not in combat, your healing factor starts healing. But that doesn't work for Wolverine. I kind of figure it will work just like how Marvel Origins is. Like, you heal, you get injured and stuff, and your healing factor slowly goes up to slowly goes back up when you're not in combat and stuff. So I don't know, but I do kind of hope that when you get injured and stuff, like it would show on your clothes like stab wounds. You would see like holes in the shirt and stuff like that. That's something that Marvel Origin Wolverine did. Like when Wolverine get damaged, his shirt basically gets removed as more damage he take, but the shirt is like completely gone, but his wounds healed up. And find out when he levels up, the shirt comes back. So kind of hope it's so like that, but we'll see what Insomniac does. Like they know how to do damage outfit. Look at Marvel Spider-Man and look at all the Marvel Spider-Man games. They do have suit damage. They just repair over time for the sake of the story, but they do get damage. So more than likely, it's gonna be the same thing with Marvel Wolverine, just gonna be in a better detail. But yeah, but other than that, it's just gonna be a longer wait until Elder Scrolls 6 gets shown. I could honestly see this possibly being, if I'm being really realistic, he'll probably tease something before this year is over. If not, definitely set in 2027 and release it in 2028. Because going off the track record, because they showed something on Starfield, it was going to come out that year, but Starfield got delayed into next year. So I feel that would be something similar to Elder Scrolls 6. And we got more God of War news popping up. Basically, the potential what would be the next God of War story. And apparently, it said it is going to arrive in 2027. And the rumor suggests it's going to be set in ancient Egypt. And also, the Intergalactic Heritage Prophet is also expected in 2027. So it could be a huge year for PlayStation first party. To be honest, having a Naughty Dog and a Santa Monica game released in 2027, Intergalactic and God of War, yeah, that would be a very cool year for PlayStation first party. And also potential rumor of other games that I will get into later. But back to the God of War 2027. We have heard this rumor multiple times about the whole ancient Egypt. There was even some said that before they even went to the Norse mythology, the next God of War after 3 was supposed to take place in Egypt. There's like concept art of it and stuff. And there is a God of War comic that is canon that shows that Kratos was in the Egyptian pantheon before he reached the Norse. So it could be heavily possible that we are gonna get the next pantheon to God of War to be in Egypt, especially how what was it? How God of War Valhalla ended and stuff. Because it looks like Kratos is gonna take on the role of what Tyr used to have, was being the god as like the mediator for other pantheons and stuff. Not like seeking out war with other pantheons, at least help settle their differences and stuff, as being the god of hope, which is called. So that's all cool and stuff. We just have to wait to see how that happened. And there's more information that kind of lead into that this Egyptian pantheon could be real. Because according to data miners who looked into the God of War Ragnarok files, they found a dialogue, basically some dialogue that was supposed to be in the game that evolved with Athena and the Egyptian gods. You don't know who Athena is. She's the god of wisdom from the Greek mythology. We saw her made an appearance in the God of War 2018 when Kratos went to get back his Blade of Chaos. So her coming back will be really awesome, because she definitely has like the villain antagonist vibe to her. Especially she was all about Kratos doing this, doing that, take out the other pantheon and stuff, then tried to stop her from killing Zeus. But once she ascended, she just became try to be more of a manipulator and stuff. It's just like, it's all cool and stuff. So, but this what the data miners have found. It says that there was a cutscene that features Athena discussing about Atreus and Odin. Athena, also referred as the robed one in this cutscene. I don't know what that could entail, but it is a very interesting. The dialogue includes uh in a different. It looked like it could be Egyptian language, but it's translated from Greek. She was speaking Greek, but the translation for it is the white snake will eat you, and one failed us, one rejected us. That's likely meaning Odin failed them from the higher plane, and Atreus rejected the mask. Like as you saw that Odin was trying to seek higher knowledge and stuff, and he failed to do so, resulting in his death by the hands of Kratos and Atreus and Freya. And Atreus had a chance to wield the mask to look into into that open scar that was able to reveal something to him, but Atreus rejected it, breaking the mask and sealing the gate. So that could be her referring to rejecting the mask. The cutscene for Atreus, it continues on by showing a cutscene of Atreus talking to a character named Mao. And Mao is a cat in Egyptian mythology and one of the manifestations of the sun god Ra. Mao could only say his name Mao, yet Atreus appeared to understand what he's trying to say. So it looks like Atreus, if this turns out to be true, Atreus gonna play an even bigger role in this one by the sound of it. And he's gotten more better with his god abilities, that he's now understanding Egyptian languages, which we clearly saw that he was able to understand Jormungandr, who speaks in a dead language, and during no time only Mimir was only able to communicate with him, but now Atreus can. So I'm in a way I'm kind of hoping that is true, because it looks like bigger players are getting involved in this. Like there's some type of group that is planning something for Kratos and Atreus and stuff. And it looks like they was hoping to get Atreus for something, because when she said he rejected us, it kind of feels like Atreus was going to join whatever group that Athena is part of in the higher planes. And it does sound very interesting. I'm not even gonna lie, especially if they're after Atreus. Kratos is definitely not gonna let it slide, because he knows how Athena is. So if the fact that she's trying to come back, but this time go for his kid, oh man, the God of War is definitely gonna return and stuff. So I am gonna keep a look eye on this, but like every single information we get, I take it with a grain of salt, because we don't know if this is true and stuff. For all we know, this could have been something they had planned, but at the same time, this could be like scrap information. We just gotta wait and see. And also, we don't know if it's true that the game will come out in 2027. It will be also if it did, but we just gotta wait and see. We got information that Hasbro has shut down the AAA studio Atomic Arcade that was working on a G.I. Joe game based on Snake Eyes, though seemingly not cancelled. The statement reads, "The Snake Eye game is not cancelled. The team is currently taking time to evaluate the path forward for the game," says Hasbro. So the studio that was supposed to make this game got shut down, but the game is not cancelled, it's still being worked on. Which is kind of wild, because I believe it was, 2020, like early 2025, we heard news of Snake Eye games being worked on and stuff. and we haven't heard anything about it yet. And out of nowhere, the studio that was making it got shut down. It sucks for the devs. Hopefully, they found work elsewhere. It kind of sounds like they did lose their job because since the team is currently taking time to evaluate the path forward for the game. So it looks like the devs is still working on the game, but they just lost the studio that they was gonna make the game. It's kind of weird. So it's like, then what studio, or did the team move to a whole new studio and stuff? So I don't know. Like, I'm honestly, I want to be surprised, but at the same time, I'm not, because Hasbro freaking canceled the Transformer game, which was a Transformer Reactivate and stuff, which I was really excited for because we haven't had a good AAA Transformer games like Fall of Cybertron or War of Cybertron like that since like the PS3 era and stuff. So I was really hoping for this Transformer game because, especially like the new stuff they was gonna do to it that haven't been done in the Transformers game. But it is what it is. Man, still pissed off about it. But here's hoping we'll hopefully get information on the Snake Eyes game, because out of the G.I. Joe character, Snake Eyes is my favorite. According to a Bloomberg article, it is being said that Sony is considering pushing back the PlayStation 6 to 28 or 2029, while Nintendo is thinking about a price hike increase in 2026 due to memory shortages, according to a report from Bloomberg. This is very concerned when it comes to the Nintendo Switch for a price hike, because currently the Switch 2 is $450 and stuff. So what will be the new price for the Switch 2 if the price does go up? I'll probably say maybe like $500 or $550 at least. There's no way the price increase will push the Switch 2 to $600. I refuse to believe that shit. But for the PlayStation 6 stuff, a lot of people don't really care, to be honest. Like, they're always saying the PS6 should launch later and stuff. Like, people believe that the PS6 could launch in 2027 and stuff because AMD said the next gen Xbox is gonna release in 2027. The thing is, like, PlayStation doesn't have to release the PS6 in 2027. Like, we have seen like consoles launch a year after one another. So, and a lot of people have been saying like they could wait on the PS6 because the PS5 have not fully got tapped into when it comes to power. Especially there's still a lot of games that are still coming out for like you could ask anybody and said they haven't seen like a next gen type of game for the Xbox Series X or the PS5. So a lot of people are saying that GTA 6 would definitely be that game that will push the power of the consoles and stuff. And I can understand that, but in my opinion, like, when it comes to the look of a game and stuff, like, I kind of feel like Death Stranding 2 achieved that because that shit was looking crazy good. Especially it was built from the ground up on the PS5 and PS5 Pro Enhanced and stuff. But of course, some people don't really like Death Stranding stuff, and you could argue that there's not a lot of stuff happening in the world. Like, when it comes to GTA 6, you got like a whole city being able to walk into some building, driving cars, flying vehicles and stuff. That's going to take a lot of power to render, which I totally agree. And since we don't know, GTA 6 is not launching day one on PC. Most likely, the best place to play will be on the PS5 Pro and stuff. It just gonna be, the question is, will the PS5 Pro let it GTA 5 6 have the option to run at 60? Because we still don't know what's gonna be the frame rate and resolution of GTA 6 and stuff. A lot of people just hoping it could run at 60 FPS and stuff. So I totally agree when it comes to that, and we just got, of course, we're getting close to the release date of it, which is in November. I have a feeling we're gonna get like another trailer for GTA 6 showing off like the gameplay and stuff and what could you do in it and stuff. So if if they announce that the PS5 Pro will be able to run GTA 6 at 60 FPS on the PS5 Pro, 30 on the. No, matter of fact, I think the PS5 and the Series X could possibly run GTA 6 at 60 FPS. It's just the resolution gonna be lower. For the PS5 Pro, I have a feeling it will be at 60 FPS. It's just the resolution gonna be higher between the two and stuff. Cause when it comes to PlayStation, like when a game comes out, they give you the option for resolution and frame rate and stuff. So I'm hoping that'll be the case because GTA 6 is 30 all across the board. People will still get it and stuff, but it just most likely some people will just wait for the PC version, which would be the best place to play it. But we'll see. We'll see. The CEO of Square Enix has said the Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 3 enters the final push phase, sparking a potential 2027 anniversary release. So we could potentially get Final Fantasy VII Part 3, which will be the ending for the Final Fantasy VII Remake trilogy by next year. And honestly, I'm excited for it. I like the first two. I say the first one was a little bit better. The second one was definitely, it was good. It was a whole bunch of side content that was like, it overstayed the welcome. It's just like, bro, like there's just so much stuff to do. I was just like, man, I would just fatigue after playing Final Fantasy VII Rebirth and stuff. Like, I don't mind the side content, the minigames and stuff like that. I just kind of wish they kind of trim it down a bit because it was just too much, in my opinion. And honestly, I don't mind we get like small bits of update for Final Fantasy VII Part 3 development and stuff. I kind of wish like don't talk about it until you showing something for it, in my opinion and stuff. Especially when it comes to the director of Square Enix and stuff. It's like, we get it. You're going through a phase that you're going to be pushing more a multi-platform, saying that Final Fantasy VII Part 3 will release on all platforms at launch, and you won't sacrifice the quality of making them on multiple platforms. That's all cool and stuff, but every single interview I seen whenever he talks, he always brings that up. Like, I'm saying right now, like, how he's talking about it would help out greatly with this whole multi-platform stuff here and there and stuff. If this game does not sell crazy like how when it was exclusive, people gonna crack jokes because people know this about Square Enix. No matter how much the game sells, they're never happy. They just never happy. Cause what, like Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 1 sold like what, 5 million like in a month or 3 months or something like that, and which was really good, and they still was upset about that. Um, Tomb Raider selling crazy good. They was not happy. They still wasn't happy about that. Final Fantasy 16 sold 3.3 million the first month. They still was not happy about that. I'm like, no matter what they released, they were never happy. And of course, some people that made joke like, see, this is what happened when Square Enix was exclusive. But people tend to forget they release a lot of crap in between the good ones. Of course, their financial stuff is not gonna look good when you release one good thing and multiple crap afterwards. And the thing is, Square Enix have done multi-platform stuff already, and they still wasn't good. People forget about Crisis Core. Apparently, that didn't sell well, even though it was on all platforms. I don't know what happened to the Dragon Age game. I don't think we ever heard numbers for that one. So, like, I don't know why people are making a big fuss about Square Enix and multi-platform stuff if they're never happy. But that's not my business. We'll see how Final Fantasy Part 3 turn out. Because honestly, I just want this to come out so we could get information on Kingdom Hearts 4. Because it seems like Square Enix is only focusing on Final Fantasy 7 Remake Part 3. That we're not hearing nothing from their other big games like Dragon Quest, the new Dragon Quest 12 or Kingdom Hearts 4. So I just want this game out of the way so they could focus on their other stuff because apparently they can do multiple ones. Here's hoping there is like a Disney event happening this year. Hopefully Kingdom Hearts 4 make their appearance there and not be behind closed doors like they always do. Here's hoping. Reports come in, Bungie have delayed the next major Destiny 2 update by 3 months, moving from March to June. The announcement comes a week before Marathon server sled is set to drop. Alright, this have the Destiny community very pissed off because they believe the reason why they delayed it so Marathon could have a chance and stuff. And I tend to agree with that because everybody is hoping Marathon fail and stuff. Could it be justifiable they wanted to fail or not? I'm not 100% sure because it's kind of crazy. People are really hoping for the game to fail. Nobody should want no game to fail because then it fuck up the developers. How people always want to hope that they do well and stuff. This mindset is completely bad because you can't say you want to defend the developers but you're hoping that their game fail. How do that work? But yeah, people are pissed. Now they have to wait till June for the next Destiny update, which will result in Destiny losing even more players and just bring more hate to Marathon. Which, in my opinion, is definitely not fair. But who knows? Who knows? Kind of hoping that's not the case and stuff, but people are really hoping Marathon fails. So I feel bad for Bungie for being in this position and stuff. Normally I don't take people comments at first glance and stuff because Twitter is a very small minority when it comes to this kind of stuff. But some of these people on Twitter are content creators and they will spread that information like wildfire just for a game to fail, and their fans will hope the game to fail. We've seen it happen before and it's not going to change anytime soon until these grifters get the hell out of the gaming community. We got another Ubisoft layoff. This time it's from their studio in Toronto. I think I completely lost count how many layoffs Ubisoft had, but apparently they're laying off 40 people, which is 8% of the studio has been let go. Production of the Splinter Cell remake is still continues, says Ubisoft. So the Splinter Cell remake that the studio was working on is still being worked, but 40 people from that studio is being let go. Like I always say with layoffs, it sucks for the developers. I'm hoping those people is able to find other jobs somewhere else and stuff. And yeah, ever since 2020, man, yeah, these layoffs are not ending anytime soon. It sucks for everybody, and it's very unfortunate for those people who relocated for these jobs is now being fired. Like, here's hoping that they could get back on their feet. Alright, we got a small little detail about this rumored Venom game that Insomniac is working on. Like I always say, take this with a grain of salt. But some information is saying that Venom is still in active development per reports. Eddie Brock is rumored to be the protagonist in the Venom game. Cletus Cassidy, aka Carnage, will reappear as the main villain. Anti-Venom will also feature using the Eddie Brock version from the comics, and Venom was originally planned to release around 2025, later shifted to 2027 according to leaked schedules. So, it is rumored that Venom is still being worked on at Insomniac, and is set to release in 2027. It could be possible that it's still in the works because who we have. Insomniac is big enough, they have multiple teams. They usually have one team that does the Ratchet & Clank. I believe they had one that did VR games, but I think they stopped doing that and just moved them to help other teams. They have the main ones who's doing the Spider-Man game, and I believe it's the one who did the Miles Morales game is doing the Wolverine. So it could be the main people who does the main Spider-Man game. It could be a small portion of that team is doing the Venom one and just slowly add more people as progress, because I don't think we'll get Spider-Man 3 anytime soon. Most likely not until 2028, 2029 we'll probably get Spider-Man 3, because Spider-Man 2 released in 2023, so 2028, 2029, that would be a 5 to 6 year development cycle and stuff. We don't know how long they supposedly been working on it and stuff, but it could be possible that Venom will come out. Like I said, we don't know if this is true or not. We just gotta wait and see. Kind of hope it is true and stuff, because it will be kind of cool to get a standalone Venom game and stuff. But we'll see. CyberConnect 2 has officially revealed their new project that they're working on, and is bringing back the series of Hack. This is what their website description says: the rebirth of Hack. The Hack series has always been developed by CyberConnect 2 and published by Bandai Namco Entertainment. But for Hack Zero, Bandai Namco Entertainment has given CyberConnect 2 permission to manage the entirety of the project from planning and development to release. It will be a new console video game that is fully self-published by CyberConnect 2. World-renowned violinist Taro Hakaze has penned the music, kickstarting the project to a dexterous tune of his violin. Hack Zero will be a novel RPG experience that blends the series' trademark duality of fantasy, game world, and reality real world with modern expectation. Infused with 100% pure CyberConnect 2 spirit, The game will be enjoyable for both veteran fans and new players alike. Please look forward to this newest iteration of Hack. I seen this game Hack like a couple of years back and stuff. This was basically what what Sword Art Online is. That was Hack like years ago. Some people said they haven't seen a Hack game since like what 16 years ago, which is kind of crazy stuff. I never played the game. I think I saw a little bit of the anime. I can't fully remember and stuff. But it's nice to see that the series is coming back, and the fact that Bandai Namco is giving them full reins how to develop, publish, and release this game and stuff. Which, in my opinion, I think this will probably be a first for CyberConnect 2. I'm not 100% sure if they ever published a game by themselves, but it's nice to see. The game is now in development. I guess we just have to wait and see when we'll get more of this, but that's where I'm going to end it off. What do you guys think? Are you guys disappointed that Bluepoint Games is shutting down? Are you guys excited for a potential God of War that's set place in the Egyptian mythology? Are you guys a fan of the Hack series and is excited to return when the new game drops? Let me know in the comments below. This is Storm, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out.